This is big breaking emergency news. Mass evacuations have been ordered inside the United States, and we also have major explosions happening domestically of our critical infrastructure, and people are saying that it is raining down toxic chemicals on their head right now from this explosion, right? And then other parts of the country, we have major evacuation orders going into place, and they have declared a state of emergency. All right, so big news going out tonight, and this is a warning for you to be prepared, you to be ready, because it could be your state, your town next, right? So let's dive into this news here really quick, guys. Hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple times a day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news. All right, so check this out. This just happened. We are now currently dealing with this. A state of emergency was just declared today, Wednesday, March 20th, and this is due to multiple major fires breaking out all at once. This is how we always see it. We see multiple fires break out overnight, it seems like, and burn down massive areas of the country like Texas. Now we are seeing this happen in Virginia, and we also have critical infrastructure exploding in Ohio. We will get to that in just a second. But in Virginia, they're cutting the power off because of these fires, and they are ordering mass evacuations. You can see here, it says local state of emergency declared in multiple valley counties. This is in Virginia. It says Shenandoah County, Virginia. Multiple localities are declaring a local state of emergency Wednesday following countless incidents due to strong winds and dry conditions. Crews are exhausting their efforts and manpower to respond to several fire calls, down trees, and down power lines. It says states of emergency have been declared in the following counties: Shenandoah, Page County, and Augusta County. All right. It also there's been a state of emergency declared in another county as well. We'll get to that in a second. It says a fire in the area of the Coal Mine Road in northwestern Shenandoah County has prompted evacuations of some residents. It says people living in the affected area or within a 5-mile radius of the area should receive a reverse 911 call asking them to evacuate. All right, so police are telling people to evacuate, and they are saying that they can go to the Signal Knob Middle School for their evacuations, okay, in Shenandoah County for that. It says in Page County, they also declared a state of emergency as well, and also in Augusta County. We are also seeing states of emergency declared in Madison County too, right? And they're also cutting the power in Madison County. You can see here it says power cut, state of emergency declared as fire burns in Madison County. This is happening all over, right? And it's kind of in this general region. You can see here, this is Shenandoah County, and this is Louisa County that is also declaring a state of emergency, but it's all these different counties that are going along, that are going west of Richmond, have all declared states of emergency because these fires have all popped up overnight. All right, so very suspicious, and they're also under a red flag warning right now where the winds are very high, and we could see this fire spread like crazy throughout Virginia. And you can also see here it's not that far from Washington, D.C. All right, but all these different counties are right here, and they've all had fires happen overnight, and they are now cutting the power. Also, you can see here it says forced evacuations in Louisa County. All right, so this is happening in this part of the state, and you can see some pictures here. It's bad, right? Firefighters are being overwhelmed because all these fires are popping up at the same time. They're all hitting all these different counties. Normally they can pinpoint their resources to stop one fire. How do all these different fires start on the same day in different areas? This is what happened in Texas as well, and we saw the largest wildfire in Texas wipe out critical infrastructure. People still don't have power or water in that region, the panhandle of Texas, northern Texas, and also the cattle industry was decimated. Right, so people in Virginia are dealing with this. You can see here the mountains in Virginia are on fire, and it's moving towards these neighborhoods. All right, so, and this is in Roanoke County, this fire in the mountains. Where are all these fires coming from? Look, this is in Louisa County. Now another one, Roanoke County. Where are all these fires coming from? How are they all just popping up overnight? And it's very suspicious, and it's overwhelming our critical infrastructure. All right, so if you are in this area, if you are in Virginia, west of Richmond, going towards 64, going off 64 towards Charlottesville, all right, that region going all the way over to Staunton and Harrisonburg is all having major fires right now. So if you're in that region, and also look out for smoke, and you need to be evacuating and have your radio on and be on the lookout for alerts for your local authorities. All right, there's also been a major explosion that has happened inside of Ohio today, all right, at a oil refinery. More critical infrastructure exploding and going offline, and this one was in Ohio again. I've reported on at least a dozen different factories, refineries, processing plants, you name it. It's all been shut down and exploded and caught on fire in Ohio. You can see here it says at least one injured after explosion at oil refinery in Defiance, Ohio. You can see here on the map where it is, right? This is in the northwestern corner of Ohio. Okay, and it says the Defiance City Fire Department confirmed an explosion, injuring at least one person at the Glycerin Traders oil refinery in Defiance. It says they were taken to the hospital in a private vehicle, and people were reporting that it was raining down toxic substances and oil and other things down on top of them from this explosion, people that were in the immediate area. They are also warning people to stay away from this area and this region, right? So the country's under attack. These things are not coincidence. These fires aren't just starting out of nowhere. These explosions aren't just happening out of nowhere. The country is being assaulted, right? And if enough critical infrastructure is taken offline, we will not have the capacity to operate our country, and especially respond in a global scenario where international supply chains are at risk. Even in 2020, supply chains were shut down at total risk from what was going on in places like China. Their supply chain was shut down. Their ports were shut down. Stuff was under quarantine, all this stuff. We can even see something like that again, much less a major war breaking out that could cause supply chain issues as well. And now domestically, we do not have the capability to produce our own raw materials and refine our own raw materials. Our refineries are going offline constantly. The biggest one in Colorado has been offline for 6 months plus now, causing oil prices to spike there. A giant refinery in California near Los Angeles has been offline for 6 months from a major hurricane, flooded it out, shut it down. These are catching on fire and exploding all over the place, right? There was a Coca-Cola factory in Ohio that exploded. There was also a metal factory in Ohio that exploded, right? Outside of Cleveland, both of these were. We are seeing hit after hit in our country. There was a oil refinery in Louisiana that got hit. It was a Route 66 one that exploded. That was just a month or two ago. It's been every month there's been a major oil refinery being caught on fire and exploding. All right, this is not a coincidence. And now we're seeing all these fires hit our country as well. All right, so make sure you are getting prepared. Make sure you are getting ready. They're cutting off the power too. All right, so they're dealing with fire. They're dealing with extreme winds. They're dealing with no power, no water. Water's not going to work. Even if you have a well, pump's not going to work. Right? All these things aren't going to work. That's what these people are dealing with. And a lot of them have to evacuate. right? So now they can't even defend their property with water and fill up some trenches around their property, soak everything. Now the water's off. Now the power's off, right? Very serious. This can happen in an instant. And we really don't see these big wildfires in this part of the country. This is pretty foreign, right? That this is this close. This is normally a very wet, humid, rainy area, and there shouldn't really be the capability for this amount of fire, multiple fires in multiple different counties to just break out overnight. The capability shouldn't even be there, right? And we have to be thinking about other things as well, like directed energy weapons that could be used to start these fires. We've seen suspicious incident after suspicious incident where things are just vaporized, where things are turned to complete ash from these fires, and they do not mimic natural fires. They mimic something that is being manipulated. This does not seem natural. Fire does not burn this hot naturally and incinerate things like this. And we're seeing entire buildings, everything. It's just gone, turned to dust. Rims are melting off cars. Stop signs are melting. All right? This is not normal. We are seeing this constantly, and we have to question this. All right? I also reported on how there were people that got caught destroying this fire sensor equipment as well. There was this guy that was caught on camera. Police were looking for him, that was destroying and taking down these fire sensors that can detect if there's a fire in the region to deploy personnel there quickly in case nobody's there, in case nobody sees it. The fire detector sees it, has a temperature radar on it. It says, oh, the heat's spiking over here and there's a fire, right? This isn't normal. This has to be a fire, and it alerts people. But this guy was going around destroying these sensors and these cameras that could save people's lives. Why is he doing that? What was he doing? What's going on, right? We also have the southern border wide open, and there could be foreign militaries coming into our country, foreign gangs. They are coming into our country, and they could be causing chaos as well. This is right outside of Washington, D.C. This is not far. This county, what is that, 30 minutes? You can see this is only 96 driving miles from the center of Washington, D.C., this county, and that's the center of this county. These fires are right outside of the Capitol. We don't know. This could be something. It is naive to just write these things off. And we've seen people get arrested recently. Even people that were... This one guy that got arrested recently, he was pushing this narrative that this was all just due to the climate. And he got arrested for starting a lot of these fires. Insane. He was the one going around starting these fires and then pushing the narrative that it was the climate. So be prepared. These things don't just happen. Fires don't just pop up out of nowhere. It's something causing it. Something's causing the spark. Something's causing it. Has to be. It's not just spontaneously combusting. Okay? So hit it up for me down there, guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Keeping you guys updated on this big news, and to help get this out, people need to know. In this region of the country, they need to know, they need to be evacuating, and they're probably seeing smoke and fire and wondering what the heck's going on. And this is multiple different counties getting hit all at once. I showed you the pictures. It's happening all over. The mountains are just catching fire all of a sudden all around Virginia. All right? This doesn't seem like a coincidence. It seems like this could be an attack. And same thing with this explosion. When you put this in the context of everything else we've seen, it's not normal. And it's very suspicious. So make sure you guys are getting prepared. Make sure you have your water tanks filled up, your gas tanks filled up, your generator ready to go. Make sure you have an evacuation route. If you are in these areas, have your trailers hooked up. Whatever you need, be thinking about your animals. Whatever you need to do to get everyone out safe and sound. a lot of times people are just forced to release their animals to let them run away from the fire because they don't have enough trailers or equipment to move all their animals. All right, so start thinking about that now. And even if you're not in this area, thinking about it now, have a plan for it. And something that just reminded me, thinking about this, in Texas, the cows, their hooves were melting off and burning off. Right? And the reason why that doesn't make sense, and it's very weird, because the cows aren't just going to stand there and get burned to death. These were cows that lived. These cows lived. They were finding cows that were alive with burned hooves off and melted hooves. And it was burning their feet. Right? So they would be running away. They wouldn't just stand there in the fire and let their hooves melt off. That's another thing that I thought was maybe suspicious or strange. Maybe there was something else going on. Who knows? Maybe that's normal, but didn't sound right to me. All right, so get prepared, guys. Hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.